Hello and welcome along to A View from Section C, episode 29. It is the first proper one of the season. We're pre-season's out the way now, Larzo,
That's
and
it. It's
we're
gone.
now in full swing. Season started.
That's it. We're into the nitty gritty now.
The
This is
nitty
it.
gritty. God, the nitty gritty already. We'll be in the nitty gritty all season.
I know. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good to sort of have real hockey back now. Meaningful games, shall we say? I know there's pre-season friendlies, but it's every game counts now.
And it means you can get out of the house for a wee bit of the weekends and
It does.
actually do something.
Yep, and it also means that when we've got midweek games, I just pick and choose my hours, and there'll be every midweek game now.
Well, you see, you pick
until
and
we
choose
go
your
back on
hours.
shifts.
You say you pick and choose your hours, but
Well,
Grant Sheepdog's old man will be giving you it tight anyway, regardless.
he's already done that. He was at his own. When we were at the ring, was it Sunday. He was at his on Sunday. About was he going to be able to stay late and what's the end of the game and we're going to be there on Thursday. And
the thing is though, it's no you getting up early for the next day. It's actually with your age, you end up falling asleep at the game because it's past your bedtime.
It depends on how the game's going, does it?
But yeah,
I could be there at 5 o'clock face off and be sleeping for 6.
Well,
that was last season. That was last season.
Okay, it's a new season now. It's a new leaf.
New hashtag new era.
Yeah. Hashtag United in Pursuit. No.
No, definitely not.
We'll not discuss that hashtag.
Listen, that's it. We mentioned United during the pre-season podcast. That's it. They're not getting mentioned again.
I know. Ryan's got evidence. Ryan's recording it and everything, taking snippets of the show and everything for people just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Yes.
But yeah, pre-season's done, but we may as well have a little review of it, seeing as now we're back and the Mac is not packed in. It's running again.
Well, it's running. It's recording. We could sit here for an hour, spouting the pish, and then you'll text me tomorrow and say it's not worked.
I couldn't get it up. That's what she said.
Wow.
Anyway.
No, the first time.
Yeah. So pre-season, now that we can actually review the whole thing. Larzo, your original thoughts on the squad before going into our Challenge Cup games last weekend?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. My original thoughts right at the very start, and I said it. I think you used the expression that was a bit meh. Yeah, I was debatable. Seen them in pre-season, and I thought they're fast. That's one thing. They're fast and they work hard. My only concern was defensively. I thought we were a bit lightweight. I thought we could have bulked up a wee bit more than what we have. But the first game against Belfast we got bumped. The second game, I don't know. I thought we'd done really well considering.
You know what? I would even say the pumping against Belfast in the first game. I wouldn't even say that was a pumping, considering. Who would have thought we would have went in there and scored 4 goals? It was one period. It was the first period where they scored 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game was competitive. We scored 4. Britton played the game obviously with Svensson not being here yet. Britton's obviously not played anything since before the playoffs last season. Mm-hmm. He's only been training. The guys first time together. Really, they've been together for a week training, but first time on the ice together as a team. 9-4, I would have took that. Maybe no concede 9, but
yeah, and I certainly took us scoring 4 goals in Belfast. Yeah, that was one thing. And then the games after that, I missed them because I was away. But you picked them up, and
it's that part-timer stuff again.
Yeah. Listen, holidays will always come first. You know me. I never seen the last 2 pre-season games, but by all accounts, they were really, really good.
Yeah.
What is it? The winning Glasgow. What was it?
Yeah.
6-3 or something.
6-3.
And
Yeah.
and they beat 5-3.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you would take that every day of the week,
Yeah.
regardless whether it's pre-season Challenge Cup or league games.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and
so
it was good.
when I seen those results coming through, I thought, we might actually hear a bit about it.
Yeah. No, and I think we do, and it was coming into that first weekend. You're thinking, right, okay, we've beat our two rivals, we've beat our both Scottish teams. We were competitive against Belfast, certainly in the second game. The tail end of the first game, it was competitive. So looking at it, you think, you know what, it can only go up from here. The more time they train together, the more time they get used to the lines, how they play. And again, like yourself, I was a bit, oh, okay.
Yeah.
On paper, some players look good. On paper, some players look all right.
Okay. Yeah.
But there was nothing stand out for me. But yeah, we've got some standout players already, which kind of showed going into the Challenge Cup games last weekend. So a review of those games. First up was our first trip to the All Barn and some experience for some of those first year rookies going into Roslin Street. So a crowd of 1508, which isn't bad for Fife. Considering last year we were right downhill.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. When it was the first thing I looked at after the game when the stats came up. Was I looked at the crowd and I thought 1500. Yeah, that's not bad for the first game of the season.
Yeah. So a 3-0 win for the Stars. Philippe Sonch on the power play, assisted by Dryden Dow and Romans Semyonovs at 11:58. Elijah Barriga scored on the power play at 35:17, assisted by Carter Folk and again Dryden Dow. And a goal from Chris Gerry at 42:09 was icing on the cake, assisted again by Carter Folk and my boy, I'm calling it now, and I've been saying it all pre-season, Matt Howlett. What a player he is, by the way. Like, you know what? You saw him when he played against Stars. You seen him. He was there. He got under your skin a wee bit. He worked hard, but you never really seen him stand out.
Nah.
Since signing for us, he's such a standout Brit, and he's fucking rapid. Absolutely rapid.
Level,
Oh,
he's. I was the same as you. When we signed him, I'm thinking, yeah, Matt Howlett, yeah, decent enough Brit, he'll do the job. Yeah. And I'm thinking he never. Personally, I didn't think he got a chance at Glasgow. I really didn't.
No.
I think he got more ice time at Guildford, but again, he never stood out. Mm-hmm. You seen him; he was on the ice. You noticed him; he was there, but it was nothing spectacular. And then he suddenly, you see him at Dundee, and you're like, "Is this the same guy?"
Yeah.
It's like he has went up a level. Actually, went up a level, and you're right, rapid, and it's at both ends of the ice.
Yeah,
great signing, absolute great signing.
You even seen it in the Elite Series when he was playing for Coventry. You know, he was there, but he never really stood out as such. He stood out as a solid Brit, a guy that you can rely on, go and do a few shifts and do your job, get a bit gritty with people. But he's just taken it to a new level this season with Dundee.
Is this the Mason factor?
You know what?
Jeff allowing him to play? Obviously, Jeff's got his own plays, etc., etc. But is he allowing Mac to play his game?
Yeah, I said something similar last night about a player as well in Dryden Dow.
Yeah,
for some reason, and I don't know what it is. Dryden looks a lot happier on the ice this season. Now I don't know if that's for the stress of the wedding and all that out the way now, and not having to do all the planning with Amy and stuff. But I think that even last season, throughout the season, Dryden looked like there was a lot of pressure on him. And again, we always joked about the captain's curse. Chris Lawrence, Marquois, Dryden didn't have great seasons when they became captain. But now he's assistant coach. There's no captaincy on him. He can go out and he can help the guys do their stuff. He is as we said, the veteran of the team now.
Yeah.
At still a young age himself, but he even looks a lot happier, and he's putting up points all over the place.
Definitely. And what I think I put it on, whether it was Facebook or Twitter, it's great to see now Dryden is beginning to shoot the puck again for the blue line. And it causes so much aggro in front of that goal. He scored from it. He's had assists from it. Yeah, he's like the Dryden that was signed.
Yeah, and it was the Dryden that Coventry then signed, but COVID hit, and thankfully we got him back. But no, by all accounts, Dryden looks a lot happier as well, and it looks like he's able to play his game. I don't know if maybe, not to badmouth Pash or anything, but did Pash maybe change his game up a little bit and ask him to do something that wasn't his style of game? I don't know. But yeah, it's good to see Dryden back on it again.
And even first game of the season, as you say, right? First game of the season, we'll go to Fife. The majority of these guys will not know what it was like.
Yeah.
Dryden will know. Our Brits will know. Mac will know. Chris Gary would know what they're going into. But these guys would not have had a clue what they were going into. Really.
No.
They'll have probably heard the stories for their teammates, but they'll be like, yeah, I can't be as bad as that. Then they go into a shithole. And then they shut them out.
Yeah.
First game of the season, to go in there and win 3-0. And listen, I'm not having this. Oh, we were import short. We had import short last season for weeks and weeks and weeks. And we never opened our mouth. We just got on with it.
Yeah.
And but we played the Clan the night before. Fuck off. You know what I mean? First game of the season.
That's it. Lads has had enough of Fife already. Fuck off.
Oops.
Yeah, but to be fair, they did give. They beat Glasgow the night before, and obviously they would have been on a high. They had a couple. I think they had a couple of players back for our game. They weren't had as many out, but obviously they lost Scott Jameson as well. Scott Jameson went out, and obviously there's rumours that there could be more. Because Brits don't really get the chance in Fife. With Todd, we've always known that. Everyone sees it every year, other than Barry. Barry's but the only boy that actually gets the ice time. But yeah, speaking of that, going in and shutting them out in their own rink on the first game of the season, Anton Svensson sitting on the goal. What absolute shithousery to the top level.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It is brilliant. Honestly, it's the funniest thing that's ever happened across here. The Fifers were raging, right? And I must admit, we spoke about this the next night, right? See if somebody done that in Dundee. If Shane Owen done that in Dundee, I would expect one of our players to go and knock him out. I really would.
Just run him and take the penalty for it.
No, honestly, I'd have hoped that when he was sitting on the crossbar, somebody would have went and held him off it. Really.
Yeah.
But because it's Anton that's done it, love it. Yeah. Absolutely love
it. It was like Darryl had said on Twitter. Remember Hyadlovsky used to do it quite a lot actually in Edinburgh.
He did.
Is it a European thing? Is it just
maybe
sit on the goal, have a wee break, get back down again? But yeah, absolute shithouse.
Great performance across here. Great result. Great shithousery. Outstanding for the first game of the season. The team are becoming a team, I must admit.
Yeah. So coming into Sunday night, obviously face-off time delayed to 7:00. Just it was a bit, pushing it out even further. I expected crowd to go down quite a bit, but to be fair, crowd was still Stars crowd was fairly decent. Clan, probably the worst Clan support I've ever seen in Dundee's rink before.
I don't know if the 7:00 helped that or if it hindered it, but I know even before it was announced that the face-off was changed to 7:00, their supporters club had tweeted that their bus was cancelled because they couldn't get people on the bus, which is a surprise.
Yeah, but
they do follow their team in big numbers. However, it has been known that when they're not winning, they don't
Yes.
tend to follow as much.
Yeah, so attendance was 14,590, which again fairly decent for a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Considering schools were in the next day, weren't they? Still,
Yeah.
So Stars took the lead through again one of our guys that we've been shouting about since the start, since they signed him, Ryan Verrier at 4:16, assisted by Barriga and Roman Semyonov. Nolan Laporte with his big chin at 15:56, assisted by McParland. Mitch Jones then put Glasgow 2-1 up at 24:04, assisted by Laporte and that boy Wah. Colin Joe equalised again. A shot for the point, 31:56, assisted by Devon Daniels and Fabrizio Ricci. Colin Joe again, 39:29 with an absolute laser. He could not have placed it any further away from the goalie. In off the pipes, assisted by Hugo Reinhardt and again Barriga. Gary Hayden pulled one, tied it up again at 42:55 in the power play, assisted by Chabot and Toth, and then a nice little short-handed goal on what was one of the most ridiculous penalties I have ever seen called in my life from Brown.
Shocker,
Elijah Barriga, 58:27, assisted by Philippe Songe and Dryden Dow, giving the Stars a 4-3 victory and a 4-point weekend on the opening weekend of the season. Larzo, 4-point weekends. Got to love them.
Outstanding. Oh, you definitely love them. Definitely love them. I was a bit wary. I must admit, going into that weekend, I was a bit wary, but I thought overall, and especially the Clan game, because the forwards that the Clan have got, right? Let's be honest. This is the start of the season.
Yeah.
And this really, really, I can't even believe I'm saying this. They will be there or thereabout at the end of the season for winning trophies, the Clan. Their forward line
is
ridiculous. And that when you've got guys like, what's it, Wah, Laporte, McParland, there's one line, Dixon,
Dunbar.
It's ridiculous. The top class forwards they've got. If we had signed these guys, we'd be laughing. Right?
No,
but it's not happening for them yet.
Well,
hopefully,
what lets them down is the back. Yeah, it's the guys at the back that let them down.
Yeah. I think Mitch Jones is a good player. Jones is good. Their goalie is they went backwards, unfortunately for them. Happily enough for me, is they went backwards with their goalie because
I'm saying that we've not seen the other boy yet, though. We've not seen the other.
Yeah, that's it. But they reckon Driscoll's the number one, eh? So,
to be fair, I saw glimpses of Driscoll. Like on Sunday, there was glimpses of him where he's an outstanding netminder. They put that save up on Save of the Week. I think it was number 2 or something for him. Number 3. It wasn't that great a save. It was square at his chest as he comes across the goal. If that's at the side of the goal where you're shooting it for your glove hand, or even going across the other side high on him, it goes in 9 out of 10 times.
I thought you had a better save when it was a 1-on-1 and he gloved it.
Yeah.
I think it was would it be the second period? Second period. And I think we had a breakaway. It might have been it was either Ricci or maybe Gary, and he gloved it. And I thought that was actually a better save than the one that got him in at number 2 or whatever it was. But for us, outstanding. Going forward, outstanding. When you sign these players, like we spoke to our mate Dowdy about this, right? And he says these Swedish guys will work. That's one thing about them. They will work and work and work. And their league will not produce a lot of points. So they'll start producing points with us. One thing about that he's got absolutely right is their work ethic and their skating ability is fantastic. For me, Songe, he's went to another level as well this year.
He's a bit. I think I said it on Sunday or the weekend before that it with Songe. It's like last season, Charlie was the standout boy. You know, it was the Combs show. and everyone knew it was the Combe show because Charlie was that good.
Yeah.
Now he is that. I would say the big fish in a small pond, and he's making it. He's made a name for himself last year. He was up there with points production and scoring goals. Now that his mate's gone, he's got new line mates. But him and Bariga, the chemistry with those two already, with Semyonov's on the line with them, you can see why Sonj, Semyonovs, and Dow were top point scorers for us in pre-season. And then you come into these games at the weekend, and there's Dryden with 3 or 4 assists, Sonj with a few assists, Bariga with a goal and a few assists, or 2 goals and a few assists. Sonj jumping in with stuff.
He was 1+2 against the Clan. So
yeah. But it's good to see it already. It's clicking. I think this is the first time where we've actually. I know we're kind of going back to pre-season here, but it's the first time we've actually had the near enough the full team in a week or two before their first games, and then pre-season, and then 2 weekends of pre-season. So that in itself is credit to the owners, the club, and even the fans. We're putting money in, and the jersey auctions, the Gold Club, the Travel Club stuff in that as well. Or, sorry, not the Travel Club, the Supporters Club. All that comes in. It gives the owners the opportunity to bring in guys an extra week earlier to get them on their training, and really push Jeff forward with it. And I think Jeff and himself. Listen, I don't really blow smoke up a coach's arse, but what a fucking difference it's him with him on the bench.
I pointed it out. It was either one of the power breaks, or possibly Glasgow called the timeout near the end, right? And obviously Jeff stands, as every coach does, he stands on the bench, right? The timeout's called. He then steps down to the players' level, and every single one of them. I think Anton was the only one that wasn't there, and he was working on his angles in the goal.
Yeah.
And every player, not just pockets of them, but every single one of them were looking straight at him, looking at his board, listening. They were nodding in agreement. They were listening to every single word that was coming out of that man's mouth.
Yeah.
Every single player. And what a difference that was. And I pointed out it again.
Yeah. One of the other things I really liked was he's no scared to give it to the referees either. If there's a wrong decision, people laugh about it, and I'll fucking tell you, the amount of times where we've been shafted on a call, and we've just stood and accepted the decision. No, let your feelings be heard. He even told the line-out to get fucked after an icing call that should never be an icing. And then one that should have been icing for us, and he got in the way of the puck. So I'm all for it, all for the coach. Giving it to the ref. If it's a big mistake, and that's his Belfast in him. That's his aggression. And you're Adam Keefe standing there. Know what? I'm fucking telling you, you're wrong.
But it's not also that, right? It's also he's came from one of the biggest clubs in the country, right? And probably at this point in time, the biggest club in the country, right? They are they are the top, right? They're playing Champions League, they're winning Champions League games, right? And he's came for them, so he's got respect around the leagues.
Yeah,
honestly, I used to look at it and think Pasha's always been at the bottom clubs, right? He's been at Manchester, he's been at Hull, he's been at us, right? To me, officials would look down on him.
Yes.
Who are you? Right? But they will never do that with Jeff Mason because of what he's done as a player and as an assistant coach at Belfast Giants.
Yeah.
He'll get so much respect.
When he was giving it to Gibson and Connors on the line about the call, they actually looked scared of him. Like, they actually looked intimidated by him actually come on, I think he's right here, and we've made a boo-boo, and I really didn't want to say that we've made a boo-boo. But it's complete breath of fresh air with Mason, and I think we said that about his the pre-season interviews and that he was given with Stars TV, and he just looked that little bit hesitant in what you're saying, or a bit kind of awkwardness around him. But on the ice, on the bench, he's got them all hanging on every word.
Yeah.
He's got demanded the respect of officials, players, and I think, as you say, that other thing will come naturally to him, the press conferences after the game. Because we never have done that before, other than maybe as a player, just that, so how did you think the game went tonight? Yeah, I thought we were a bit scrappy, but that's the thing, I'm just talking
now. Now that all of the, the signings and everything is out the way, right? When he's getting interviewed about the game.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier for him. You hear it now. When Jeff's now speaking, he's a lot more confident because he's now speaking about just the game. He's not having to speak about sort of, how do you go on your holidays and who's the next guy to come in and what you're looking for and things like that. Trying to build
and such like.
And such like.
But one thing we do need to bring up is obviously the injury to Chris Ingles on Sunday. So
that's a blow.
I seen it at the time. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Chabot kind of went in to the goal with him, and Chris has landed, kind of buckled again on that same knee. Hopefully nothing too serious. The fact he managed to get up himself and get off the ice, I think he collapsed on the bench when he got to the bench, though, when he couldn't put weight on it. But he was off. He got off the ice in the changing room. Obviously, Early went with him. I think Dr. Lunder was there as well. Hopefully, nothing too serious. Hopefully, just maybe a day-to-day sort of thing. Just take it easy. Maybe just an impact injury. Hopefully, more than anything. But I think the game. We said it at the time. I think the game actually changed when he went off.
I thought the decor. I didn't mean this disrespectfully when I said the game did change. It's not that they struggled, right?
Yes.
I think it was they couldn't run the lines correctly. And now, if you probably think about it, for the past so many 3-4 weeks, they've always probably just played with the same guy all the time, right? And then Chris goes out, and everybody then begins to play with different D partners, and for me, it upset the apple cart.
It was the same against Fife when in pre-season when Colin Joe went out injured. So Colin Joe left the game. I think it was midway through the second, or it didn't come back out at the start of the second. And the defensive went out to 5, and the parents had to switch up a bit. I'd noticed it then as well. You got to think, Naslund plays with Chris. These guys know exactly what type of game they're playing, what style of game they both play, and where they're going to be and what hand they are and stuff. That one guy goes out, Naslund ends up on the ice with Dryden, say, or Verrier. Where are you? What position are you on? What side are you on? Where's your, what hand is he, right or left? Right, okay. They know their partner. They know their defensive partner. So as soon as that little break up, the telepathy more than anything goes. But I noticed that a wee bit.
You're absolutely right. I thought it did upset the apple cart, and it upset it for a wee bit. But they gradually got into the routine, and then they began to start playing again. And once they started playing again, to me it was fine. You got on about the call at the end. It was a shocker for me as well. It was an absolute shocker. I don't know where it came from.
What did he call? He called holding, but I think Fab had both hands on his stick. So what was he holding him with?
Yeah, I just
if that was if I do remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Fab had both hands on his stick. So what is he holding him with? There was a few calls from Brown on Sunday where there was the reaction for the bench and a reaction for the crowd, the Clan fans, and then seconds later the hand went up. It was like it was slow motion.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that was right. Yeah, you're right. That is a call.
And that one was the slowest of the ball because his hand was not up.
I think we gained possession of the puck, and then they got the puck back again, and then we played it, and he called the penalty.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
But we pulled it out.
We did grind it out.
Great.
4-point weekend.
Great play by Sonch. What a play by Sonch, right?
I'll tell you, it was a great assist for Driscoll.
But that's the thing. That's what Sonch is doing. He's not shooting that puck to score. He's shooting it so it comes up because he knows Barilla is coming down the other side. There's only one way that Driscoll's kicking it out, and it's right to Barilla.
Yeah. And the amount of times we actually said that on Sunday as well, though, the amount of rebounds that we're actually not there for either to try and convert. And it's not, it's not just Glasgow. Like Driscoll's rebound control is maybe not the best, but Owen was giving up a lot of rebounds like that as well. And it's just, and that'll come. We're only 2 games into the season, so that'll come of knowing, right, okay, these rebounds are coming. These rebounds are falling to it. And Jeff will be all over it saying, listen, we need to make sure somebody's there because it's a fucking grade A chance for us.
I think we're going to score a lot of goals being right in front of the net.
Yeah.
I really do. I think we're
shooting for the point.
Yeah. which is a Belfast thing. They did to us.
It very much is a Belfast thing.
Yeah.
Especially
the
power
puck to the blue line, fire pucks, and just create havoc and see what happens. I mean, but 4-point weekend. Could not fucking got off to a better start, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolutely delighted. As you say, you've got your guy Howlett. For me, my guy at the moment, because I've just got his training jersey, is Ryan Verrier.
I just like him because we've got a great chant from him, and it was loud as hell it was really loud when he scored. I absolutely loved it. We've also spoken, right? So I'm calling Steph Boyle out here, okay? So we've spoke to Dean, right? I'm in agreement. It's a great chant, but it's too long. It's too long. So we spoke with Dean. Dean's going to try and edit the tune to play it right after the goal horn. So we're going to do the whatever the fucking Chelsea thing is, whatever that's called. Dean's going to try and get that edited so we can chant it right after his goal, after he scores it.
I must admit, after I think it was Colin Joe's goals, I actually liked the pump it up because the crowd were right in it.
I noticed that it was so actually, and we're gonna have to call Andy McCartney out here because I totally forgot this happened. It was the game against I think it was Fife. Dean wasn't there. The pre-season game, so Dean wasn't there, and Andy had to do the DJ and Andy announced him. Stars scored. I think it was Naslin's goal. He plays the goal horn, and then Pump It Up starts. Flower of Scotland starts. Something else starts, and something else starts. And then he just stopped the music before the puck was dropped, and I could just see him. He's looking over at us, and he's just like, bastards.
I must admit, I liked it when they played Pump It Up after. I think it was after both of Colin Joe's goals, but certainly the third one, it got everybody right into it.
I like it because I like because it gets the crowd going. Do we do it after a goal though? Because you look at Glasgow, right? They use Wolfmother as their song to get going. The Joker and the Thief, right? They use that when they're struggling, they play it, the crowd get going. Is that what we should do with it? Or should we play it after the goals and keep the crowd going?
I think we should just play it at the time.
Food for thought for people. Answer it on the socials and we'll tweet Dean. We'll tweet Dean as well and see what his thought process is on it.
Yeah.
But tequila right after he scores, and that'll be his chant. Okay, so Steph, stop fucking moaning now, right?
See, either that, if he's not going to play Pump It Up, if there's tunes that go with players for their chance, if they score, then they should play the tune.
I've always said that, and I did say to Andy, I sent it to Andy last season at the players' tunes. But I'll send it over to him again. Maybe get the two of them on the podcast and have a blather with them about it.
Yeah, I would go for that. Yeah.
Maybe Dino.
Maybe what we'll say is the only way they're getting on the podcast is if they actually do that.
Yeah. But so 4-point weekend coming into this week. So obviously we're recording this Wednesday night. So Flyers tomorrow, Clan away on Saturday, and then your wee buddies up the road on Sunday.
My wee pals up the road Sunday.
God, it's gonna be a fucking love fest, is it? I hope
Ah.
Stoney's there just to give you it tight, honest to God. But yeah, Flyers Clan again, obviously Challenge Cup games. I think we're expecting the same, go in, do the biz.
The expectation,
Yeah. Certainly the home game. Win tomorrow night against Fife. They'll have a few guys back. I believe one of them, I can't remember who it was that went off in pre-season against us. Seemingly his full fingernail came off. That's how he's injured. But
he's got to let it stick with his hand.
No, I mean, a bit disgusting, eh? Your full fingernail coming off. Fucking hell. That'll be bloody sore. Think of the skin you can what it's like when you cut your fingernails too short. So can you imagine how sore it is no having your fingernail on it at all?
Yeah. Toughen up.
But
he's in Fife, you know what I mean?
He's got an extra one.
Could have took off his extra finger and put it on that.
I know. But
yeah,
Fife will be more bodies back.
I'm expecting a win tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I am a bit pissed that it's a Thursday night and it's live on the telly.
Yeah, I agree. Now that was my point, and I was going to tweet it today, and I thought, fuck, I can't be arsed. So it'd be interesting to know, one, if the clubs get any money for them going on the TV. So if they get a cut of what they get for going on the TV.
If they're getting money in from Premier Sports, great.
If to, how much? Obviously, we don't need to know, but is it enough that your ticket sales, it'll cover your ticket sales of people that don't go, or your webcast that people won't buy because they're getting it on, effectively they're getting on the telly for free because they've got that Elite League code discount thing. So, do they get a cut? If so, is it enough to cover the revenue that would have been generated through ticket sales, webcast sales, concession stands, the programs, the Chuck-a-Puck, all that stuff? Is it enough? That was my point about it. That's annoyed us.
The crowd will be impacted. Thursday night, it's a 7:30 face-off. It's not even like a 7 o'clock face. 7:30 face-off. People wanted the Sunday nights change from 6:30 to 5 o'clock because the kids have got school the next day. 7:30 on a Thursday night. I must admit, I'm not a great fan of it. Not a great. A Friday night maybe. A Friday night maybe, but certainly not Monday to Thursday.
Again,
get that in the bin.
Again, the ice time at the rink's very limited now. Very limited. But it's the telly thing that's annoyed me. You know, it comes back to your revenue. Is it going to be beneficial? Is it more beneficial for the Stars to have them on the telly that night? They might get more money than what they would have got in ticket sales and webcasts, which is great if it is. But if it's not, then they need to question the league on that one.
I wouldn't mind, right? If they were showing Stars versus Flyers live on the telly at the weekend, because you're still going to guarantee a big crowd.
Yeah.
Right? This game's going to go live on telly, and they're going to go, here's the big rivalry, and the rink could be half empty.
Yeah. I remember we played.
See if we get 1,200 at the game tomorrow, I'd be delighted.
Yeah. I remember when we played Cardiff in the Challenge Cup midweek, and we'd lost 5-1 or something. The first leg down there, they came back up, and I never went. I couldn't be bothered paying the money for it, to be honest with you, at that time. But there was less. There was only about 300 there, if that. It was empty. It was really bad. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
It's not going to be
but
as that. I think
if
they reach 4 figures, they'll be lucky.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, like you say, the guy, you can see that the guys again this year feed off fans' energy every time. But
so after tomorrow we'll be sitting top of the league, played 3-1-3.
Yep,
and then we're going to Castle Grayskull down in fucking Renfrewshire.
Lanarkshire, Renfrewshire,
Whatever,
Braehead, Paisley,
Govan,
wherever they are now.
whatever. Yeah. That's
That'll
going
be
to
a
be
more
a tough
difficult
one.
game. Yeah,
definitely.
that'll be a different game to what we had at the weekend, I think. Because they'll be up for it. They sisters were probably kissed at the weekend. Dogs were probably booted and exploded at the weekend. So, Cameron been in there reading the riot act, no doubt, the fraud that he is.
I know that we've beat them twice. One was pre-season, the other was a cup game, but it's still 2 wins for us. They will not be enjoying that.
Yeah, and to be
fair,
I think if we're to sacrifice a game at the weekend or like this week, if we're to sacrifice 2 points anywhere, I'd sacrifice the 2 points there and get our 2 points on the board in the league on the Sunday against the Squealers.
Yes, I would agree with you. And it means you're winning your 2 home games.
Yeah. But different game in Glasgow. Be interesting to see if they change the goalie up, if it's Driscoll in or if it's I don't know the other boy's name.
Taylor. I think it's Ty Taylor or somebody's name is that.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd give wee Taylor Fraser a wave there. Sheffield on the Sunday. Again, I don't know what to expect from them. We've not seen them yet. We've seen them get beat. We've seen them win.
For me, this is the first big test of us.
Yes. Yeah. I think that Glasgow are a big test because, like you say, Glasgow are going to be up there and thereabouts if we're winning things this year. I think Steelers will be definitely up there and thereabouts for trying to win things, but they're a lot bigger bodies than what Glasgow have signed, and that could be you look at Ben Soke, first shift, broken collarbone or shoulder injury, whatever it is. First shift, and that's against one of the Glasgow guys.
And that's an innocuous hit into the boards. So and Sheffield will come in bigger and harder than that. Especially after what we done them last season. They will be raging. They will be raging, and they will not like coming up here. Because what we've done to them over the past up here.
It's a very long drive though, Larso.
Yeah.
It's a very long drive. Come on.
They're going it's going to be a big test for us. Big test for us. The D are going to have their heads on an absolute swivel. Our D, that is.
Yeah, and fingers crossed we've got Chris in for 6. So that we're all right with
I'll tell you what was interesting was Jeff's after-match interview. Yes. So, and he was speaking about possible reinforcements.
Now, to me, I think it could be a reinforcement for Soke. I think Soke might be out a wee bit longer than maybe what we think, or possibly Craig might be out a wee bit longer than what we think. And run with the extra import.
But we don't
run the extra import.
But we don't know how long Chris is going to be with. So is it a D man? Kyle Haas? Or is it a forward? It's coming to the end of September, Junior.
No, it's. Did he not? I'm pretty sure he said the start of September because his probation was up in August. Pretty sure that's what he said. But I don't think Kyle Haas is coming back. I don't think Kyle Haas is coming back anyway.
I'm just waiting.
I know you are. I think Haas will go back to.
I think it'll be. It'll depend on how long Chris is out for. If Chris is out medium to long term, he'll bring a D man in. If Chris is back within a couple of weeks, and Craig and Soke are out sort of longer term, it'll be a forward.
And then, interested to see
and it'll be an import. For me, it'll be an import. And then when Soke comes back, they'll just run. I think they'll just run with an extra import.
Which is good to see the budget's there for it. So
but I think he said he was going to wait for a few weeks just to see how it goes.
So obviously, it's 2 Challenge Cup games and a league game. So we won't have technically won't have a 6-point weekend. It would be a 4-point and a 2-point. But in total, I'm going for 3. I think we'll beat 5, and we'll get a point somewhere else.
All right. I'm going to go. We'll beat 5. I think we may get beat in Glasgow, and I think we'll beat Steelers.
Okay.
I think
Dave-
we'll get
Davey
2
Pal
points
Dowdy
in
will
the
be
challenge.
listening, remember?
Yeah, 2 points in the Challenge Cup and 2 points in the league.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
listen, Dowdy will be listening anyway, so he knows he's a lot to get called. Soon as he comes out on that ice, he's getting called. Oh, you wee dick, and he's gonna tight.
Yeah,
The hell gang.
Yeah, wee dick.
You wee dick. He
He
knows that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's for episode. Hopefully we can get this uploaded. We'll find out.
I'll tell you, see if I've got to go through this again.
We'll find out in the next few hours when I try and upload this. Because it will go up tonight. It will go up tonight if I get it on.
And actually, get what, a wee
game.
shout out for me before we go. It's for Reece Sharp, because that young lad, because we mentioned we had issues with the Apple Mac.
Aye.
That young lad, he reached out straight away, offering whatever it was. I can't even. But I'm certainly.
I was a bit hesitant to take it for him though, because I don't know what he's been searching on their websites and stuff.
He'll clear his search engine first.
If Reece was speaking about, he's a barber. He's not that smart.
surely he's cleared his history first before he sends it to us. Because I'll tell you, if we do take him up on his offer, he'll better clear the history when we give him it back. But yeah, no, I thought it was really, really good of the guy. To reach out straight away, say, look, if you're needing someone, I might have someone that will help you get the podcast back up again.
For
so
sure.
I appreciate that.
No, definitely. No, we do.
And we may still take him up on that offer, depending on how
tonight goes. Yeah. Well, the fact that it's still going just now is a bonus, so we'll see.
It is.
But yeah, that's it from us. So we will see you at the rink tomorrow night, hopefully. Don't stay in and watch it on the telly, all you miserable sods. Get to the rink.
Yeah, go up to the rink, support your team.
Yeah. Saturday, big game in Glasgow, and then we'll see you all again on Sunday. At home to the Squealers and Larzo's wee pal Dowdy. Might even get a wee sign for him.
I might even go and get Dowd 75 on my podcast t-shirt.
On that note, it was good for you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
See yous.